Hey guys, Born to Lose here with another knife review. Today we're reviewing the ESEE-5 Survival Knife. ESEE has changed its name. It used to be RAT Knives, and they've changed to ESEE, which stands for Survival, Escape, and Evasion. This is everything you get with the knife. You get a little survival card with some tips on it. Kind of a little bit of a gimmick. Credit card kind of feel to it. They also give you an extra one there. This is an instruction sheet, kind of a pamphlet that goes over all the features of the knives. The knife. You can see the new ESEE logo there, and Randall's Adventure Training. You also get a Kydex belt clip. This used to come with a MOLLE attachment, and now they give you a Kydex belt clip, which I'm not sure how I really feel about that. I don't really use these too much, but Kydex is good, and I guess if you want to attach to your belt, that's good. And it comes with the bolts and nuts and rubber grommets to attach that. Moving on to the knife here, we can start with the sheath. It's a Kydex sheath with some paracord attached to the end. A very well made sheath. It's a tension lock sheath, so the knife is locked in by tension, which can be adjusted with this screw here. You can also attach this, they do still sell separately the MOLLE attachment, so you can attach this sheath to the MOLLE attachment, which is nice because when I'm using a knife for survival or camping or heavy duty use like this, I like having a Kydex sheath. It holds up better than leather when it gets wet, doesn't get damaged as easy and worn over time as leather does, and I like it better than a full MOLLE sheath because that can fray over time. I still can attach this, and I will, to my 3-day pack using the MOLLE attachment, which goes on the back of the Kydex sheath and then attaches to pretty much any MOLLE attachment on my bag. Heck, even my 4x4 now has seat covers with MOLLE attachments on it, so you can put it on a tactical vest, you know, your loadout vest, whatever you want that has MOLLE attachments. And this is a very nice sheath. I like Kydex. If I push off here, this is the push off point, knife pops out really nicely. Take a look at the knife right here. It's a decent weight to it, you know, which is good. This knife is going to be used for cutting wood, that kind of thing, so you're going to want a knife with a little weight to it in order to do that. I haven't got a chance to field test it yet, but it will be getting heavy use, and I'll probably do another review once I get it out in the field. You can see here that the handle is made up, I can't remember what it's called, but it's some sort of high density fiber. It feels really nice in the hand. It's got the ESEE logo on it right there, which you can't really bring into focus. It's connected by 3 attachment points. It's got 3 Allen screws running through each side of it. So if you wanted to remove the handle, you could. And as you can see, the blade runs all the way through the handle, full tang, so that's great for extra strength and rigidity. Moving on to the blade, it is a 1/4 inch thick steel, which is great for strength, something you want in these kind of survival knives. The finish on it is a black powder coat, which feels really nice. I've had mixed experience with powder coat. I've had it on some bumpers for vehicles, and after use on the trail, sometimes it does chip and come off. But good powder coat won't, and this feels like it's a pretty well done powder coat. The blade itself is really sturdy. That 1/4 inch steel thickness runs all the way down here to where you've got a little bit of an angle in the blade down here. And then the actual blade itself is a 30-degree angle, I believe. And it's very sharp. It comes very sharp, which I like, because there's so many knives that don't nowadays. You have to send them out for sharpening. Nobody wants to deal with that. I mean, you don't want to get a knife and then have to send it out for sharpening immediately. And I've had that happen. Compared to my Gerber Trident, which is listed as another survival knife, I don't really know if that's great for survival, but it is listed as a survival knife. This is much more substantial. The blade is thicker. It's got a heavier weight to it. This really feels like you can really, really put this to the test, get some heavy duty use out of it, use it for shelter making, fire making, beat on this knife, and it's going to be a really good survival knife. They also list it as a survival/combat knife. I think it's primarily a survival knife, but you could certainly use this as a combat knife if you wanted to. In the hand, it feels really sturdy. That's partially thanks to its construction and its weight. It's got jimping on the blade, which is good. I always like when the blades have that because it really makes it much nicer to hold and much nicer to use. Also on the blade, we again have the logo, the ESEE logo, the Randall's Adventure Training there. It says ESEE-5 right on the blade. Then on the back, it says Made in the USA, which is good. I always like that. And Rowan. I'm not sure if that's someone who manufactures the steel or exactly what that is, but that's on there too. On the other end here, you have a pommel. This is a really nice pommel. It's got a machined face, and I mean, I've had pommel on a couple knives. This is a very well made one. You're gonna have no trouble breaking glass with that kind of pommel at all. Also down here you've got what appears to be the model number right on the end of the pommel here. So I mean, overall, you know, it's very nice construction. Another feature you have is going to be this socket here, which is actually used if you're going to be bowing to start a fire. You would put your stick into the socket, the other end into the ground, and use the other stick to bow back and forth to ignite your tinder, which is a nice feature to have on this knife, you know. The length, I would say, is probably around 9 inches, maybe 9.5 inches, which is good for a survival knife. The heft is going to make it real easy to chop through wood, which is nice as well. And overall, it's just a great, really nice construction on this knife. A great knife. And I don't think I'd have any problem, you know, taking this into the backwoods and really putting this to the test and, you know, beating the crap out of it and using this knife for what it's meant to be used for. It really feels substantial and heavy duty. The other good thing is that with ESEE knives, they really stand behind their product. There's a lifetime guarantee. No matter what you do to this thing, if it breaks, they will repair it or replace it, and that carries on for the lifetime of the knife, no matter who owns it throughout its life cycle. So, I mean, this is a knife, you know, you take with you to the grave, you pass on to the next generation. It's just a product that you don't really see anymore these days. You know, this knife is going to just be around after you. And it's a really heavy-duty, good survival knife. You know, I will get to test it soon in the field, and that will really provide a lot of info, a lot of data. I'll be carrying on my pack. The weight, of course, is a concern. It is a little heavier, and, you know, when you're doing a 3-day pack, the weight does start to add up. But something like this, the trade-off is worth it. You want a heavy-duty survival knife like this in your pack. I will be doing another review of this knife, probably a field test review, but as far as the initial quality, you know, opening it up, the packaging, the materials, and just getting a feel for how it feels, and the initial quality review, I have no complaints. This is a great knife. So, yeah, stay tuned and keep a lookout for my further review on this in the field. This is the ESEE-5 Survival Knife.